Welcome to my office. I'm John, and I'm sitting here with Thomas Lang, who's one of the premier artists of the world, not just for DW, but truly in my heart, I feel that way. I admire what you do so much, and I'm not just telling you that, man. It's just like it's a fact. No brag, just facts. And I'm glad you're here. And then probably the most premier drum shell maker in the world is Shon Smith, and I'm proud to have you all these years by my side, working with me. And sometimes I come up with some crazy stuff, and I know it's for a minute it can make your life miserable.
It makes my life better every time.
It makes your life better. So
every time you come up with some crazy stuff.
It's things like this that inspired me. So I've always been inspired by pushing limits about what can happen and what Mother Nature will allow you to do and what she won't.
Right.
And I challenge her, and maybe some of you might not want to ride on an airplane with me because she's going to get back at me. But we kind of challenge the boundaries, if you will, on this one. And the funny thing about it is this can't be done. If you take something such as this is short-grained veneer. Can you see that? And this happens to be cherry.
Yes.
One of my favorite woods.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, there's no real integrity to the strength of this wood. All right? So the way we gain strength in a drum shell, and I know I've been through this before, and I've explained it, but I'm going to do it again because this is worthy of that, is that the fact that this is all vertical veneer. So if you can imagine 9 plies of all vertical veneer, there's no strength there. And Mother Nature says you can't do that. Can't be done. Shouldn't be done. Okay, so, but what this delivers is extreme bottom end, low end, which is what I've always liked about drum sounds. I mean, yes, there's a perfect place, as you well know, Thomas, for high-end stuff. Neil Peart loved his high toms all the way down to thunderous bottom end. Terry Bozzio loves all those piccolo toms and things of that nature. You love the dynamics of a drum kit for everything it can possibly deliver, and I get that, and I know that. What I love about this is you can tune these drums high if you wish to, but you can also push the limits of bottom end. And the bottom end part, as long as the drum head will perform all the way that far down, is attainable. And but how do you hold it together? That's the thing. I mean, there's an awful lot of glue in a drum shell is on top of everything else. So we've spent years formulating with some good friends of ours from Chicago, who and Colorado, who actually do a lot of that formulation based on what we want.
Right.
But the glue isn't going to provide that strength.
Right.
Originally, I wanted to do all vertical veneer, which just can't be done. And
Cannot be done.
I came to Shon with this idea, and you said what?
I said, there's no way.
There's no way.
Maybe with reinforcement rings, or not even that.
Well, good point, and we'll get to that. And I'm glad you brought that up. I know this sounds geeky and it's probably crazy, but 8 plies of stuff like this can't possibly hold together. Now, originally, I wanted to put a composite material in the center of the shell to hold it for its strength. And that became less and less attractive to me for this project because I knew of some woods that are tremendously strong. And that happens to be one of my favorites, and we're doing a lot of good things with this Purple Heart. Now, Purple Heart, South American wood, and it's like iron. And in the Janka scale, which is the hardness of wood scales, it's way up there.
What's that scale called?
It's called the Janka scale.
Okay.
Not janky, it's Janka. Anyway, but if you look at this piece of wood, I mean, wow,
Yeah.
there's strength there. You know, you feel that,
incredible,
Thomas. You feel the tension,
Yeah.
right? So that's horizontal veneer.
Yeah.
Horizontal veneer is going to be the one thing that is really going to become the core of this shell. And that's why we call it PurpleCore. And PurpleCore is 3 plies, which is a short grain, a long grain, and a short grain of Purple Heart. And these plies are about, what, a 36th?
About a 36, maybe a 38.
Are they all the same thickness?
Mostly, yes.
So the vertical grain, let's say cherry, and the PurpleCore all the same thickness.
Yes.
Okay.
Their Janka scale is different.
Of course.
Okay, now, being on the scale of hardness, cherry's way down the chain, maple's way down the chain, and mahogany's way down the chain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising.
But those materials are the things that create the character of the sound.
right.
Now, you've played the drums. When I saw that footage and heard what you played in your studio at home,
Yeah.
which is a great studio, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
I was very impressed with the fact that you could draw the beauty of each drum kit out. Well, let's talk about maple, cherry, and mahogany. The brighter of the 3 would be the maple.
Absolutely.
Mahogany, which is the darkest. Cherry, which is mysteriously beautiful and luscious sounding. And so that's carrying the texture and character of it all. This is providing the strength, and because it's so hard, it vibrates really great.
Yes.
Okay, so once we put maple in a shell, and we're talking about vertical, 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 and then vertical PurpleCore, horizontal PurpleCore, vertical PurpleCore, and then vertical, vertical, vertical maple, that's an awful lot to demand on a shell. And Sean and I were both pretty excited when we discovered, correct me,
yes,
that you remember when I came to you with this idea and you said, I'm not sure that's going to work. But we put it
twisted
in.
my arm.
I twisted
hard enough.
I twisted your veneer and
And went with only one ply.
one horizontal,
Yeah.
which is really unheard of.
Totally.
So, I mean, I hope there's a lot of younger shell makers that are inspired to do things, and you can do anything if you really put your mind to it, and if you're the tenacity of your bullheadedness
Right.
allows you to do so.
Absolutely.
But this one worked, and it worked amazingly well. When we came to this revelation, if you will, about how strong it can be
Yeah.
for insurance.
Well, I think more than insurance.
A little more than insurance.
It really helps.
We wanted to put a cute little, what's that? Oh, how many plies is
a
that?
3-ply reinforcing ring.
3-ply reinforcing hoop, which 1 ply is horizontal Purple Heart,
Right.
and the other 2 are the various
Whatever
woods.
it is, yeah.
If it's maple, it's maple.
Yeah.
Vertical,
Cherry.
vertical. So when you really think about it, and then you take this shell and you test its strength, it's all there.
Absolutely.
And its vibration is all there. Now,
Yeah.
some people say, how low can you go with a sound? And you can tune those drums
Yes.
down.
I was blown away. Seriously.
I was blown away with what you did with them.
I was blown away. I mean, when we just took them out of the box and just tapped them, they had that profound bottom end that had incredible projection. Even at a low volume, you could feel there is just a ton more low end than on any other regular or slightly, different shell construction. It was immediately apparent. And then, of course, miking it and tuning it differently. And I did a whole thing. I spent a whole week tuning each one of those kits that I had in different ways: high pitched, low pitched, real thuddy, muffled, open. At every tension, even when you tune them high, they have more low end. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. Isn't it?
It's amazing. Even if you take a pure maple, and we had all the A/B setups and everything, and I took my maple mahogany kit to compare it to the PurpleCore maple and to the PurpleCore mahogany. I had the pure maple kit as a reference kit to compare to the other PurpleCore kits, and we used drum dials and everything. Even at a high tension of say a 10-inch tom, all of them sound great. But there was definitely more low end, even at high tunings, than on the other shells. And when you then bring it down and you go really low, it had an unbelievable amount of low bark. I mean, a 12-inch tom sounded like a 16-inch floor tom.
Oh, yes.
It was so fat and low. The 10-inch sounded like a 13 or something.
It does.
If you wanted to, and it was incredible.
Well, the part of the goal, if you can imagine, if you can't bring in a lot of drums or big drums into a situation, if you can imagine what an 8, 10, and a 13,
I know.
that's all and a 20 maybe,
Exactly.
Even
And
18, yeah.
And the thing is, with the PurpleCore, hybrid shells, it's like having one kit that's got the 24, 13, 14, 18, and then you just use your tuning key and you got a whole new kit. And you've got a 10, 12, 16 or something, just by tuning it differently. But it changes not only, the pitch, but it just sounds like a completely different kit, yet it always has that super profound low end, which is amazing,
Yeah.
To me, that was just mind-boggling.
That was the goal, and
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
glad that you captured that because, they really aren't widely distributed yet in the marketplace, and I think it's yet another avenue, Sean, if you'll agree with me, of shell making, where we can pretty much cater to what somebody's needs
Absolutely.
are.
Right.
If you need really high pitched shells, I wouldn't suggest this. If you want stuff that you can tune high but still has that bark, like you say in the bottom,
Exactly.
I would suggest this.
Absolutely.
It has textures of sound that are different than a lot of other shells we make.
Yeah.
Oh, it's completely. I think it's completely different than anything we've ever done.
Right. I agree. And so having had that dream of being able to do this and fooling the tension rules
Exactly.
with this little guy right here who's a bad boy. He's really something. I'm astonished all the time. I mean, this is my life.
Tell me, was your idea just to build a shell that's just that just produces the massive amounts of low end? Was that the concept? Was your inspiration like, I want to build a drum that just sounds low?
Well, yes, and pretty much, I had this idea years ago, and through all the experimentation that you and I have done, I have found that Shon and I have been through the ringer on what is possible and what isn't possible. And when he goes, "That's possible," I go, "Well, let's work on that impossible."
Right.
And that's where we came up with
I
this.
like that.
It's work on the impossible.
Yeah.
And it is possible.
Yeah.
You know, with the right amount of effort and tenacity,
Yeah.
we can pull this off. So I'm hoping that maybe drummers all around the world will appreciate this and put them through the paces as you've done.
Oh, yes, I did. All of them. The cherry, the mahogany, the maple, all of them PurpleCore. Again, I spent a whole week. Actually, it was 7 days.
Wow.
With 2 days with each one of the kits. A-Bing it with reference kits, miking them exactly in the same position in the room, same input gains and everything on my flat levels. Looking at the analyzers and EQ curves, comparing everything. I went as scientific, as I could. Under the circumstances, and I think it was a very, very controlled environment. And I'm a science geek and I'm a skeptic.
You are,
and it's just a fact that they have more low end. I mean, up to like 20 hertz lower. You'll get, say, a floor tone that's got a pronounced sort of boost at, say, 100 hertz. Like a maple mahogany or something.
Sure.
And you put the PurpleCore under that microphone, and it'll show you like pronounced boost at 80 hertz, like 20 hertz lower.
A lot of gain there.
Yeah, exactly. It's got so much, and that was the case with all of the drums.
Well, talking about you being a scientist, I mean, you really are, because you're a scientist of technique. You're a teacher. You're an incredible player and performer, and you've been part of science in drums and figuring out and understanding why things work. Or maybe better go back to the drawing board on this one. Anyway, but you pulled out of this drum shell exactly what I felt it could do.
Right.
I can't play drums to save my life. I mean, I can hit a drum for a sound check.
Yes,
I'm pretty good at that. But to see you express on this drum kit was gratifying to me.
Well, thank you.
And I really enjoyed the fact that you understood more than anything the direction we were trying to go with this whole project. And Shon has helped me deliver this. And those little reinforcing hoops, as small as they are, they give you a little bit more definition in the top. Mm-hmm. And then you just let that baby run, and man, oh man.
Unbelievable. The kick drums, oh my God.
Oh, we have a 16 in our showroom,
right?
That I think was one of the first drums we made.
The first one, yeah. That thing is just
and there would be some back when we could have guests, and that'll all happen again soon.
Right. Yeah.
But I used to put it up on this little stage, and if I was available, I'd walk in and I'd go, "Listen, everybody, this little drum," and I'd hit it with a beater ball, and they'd all just fall over. Like that's not
exactly.
What are you triggering?
Does not compute.
Yeah, right.
The size of the drum at the low end. Exactly.
So the beauty of everything is that we've got it. I'd like to go and explore how they're put together.
Yeah.
At this point.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I want you to see it, and you already understand it, which is the greatest thing.
Well, thank you.
But hopefully our audience will understand a little bit more about how all of this goes together, and it's a glorious new line of PurpleCore drums. And don't forget, all of these sounds are subtly different than one another. They are subtly different, but when you stack up subtleties against each other, and if you add up all these things, they do create a big difference.
Absolutely.
And it's all about your expression, if you ask me, of what you want to say on a drum kit.
Exactly.
So let's go have a look.
Let's do it. You know, every time I'm in here, I just want to take a deep breath and hold it. It fills my lungs, my body with drum mojo. It's awesome.
Drum mojo, I love
Drum
that.
mojo.
Yeah. This is the shell shop. There's some PurpleCore going on right now,
Okay, well, I
which
want to
is
see it.
an appropriate thing.
Yeah.
What Rob is doing here is he's clipping the cherry.
Yes.
So look at that.
Oh, it's just floppy. It's like paper.
It's like it has no structural integrity,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. It's
So-
floppy. It's like rubber or paper.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like flipping through the pages of an encyclopedia.
Exactly.
And
It's
there
like-
are stories on every page.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's Sean.
Hey, Sean.
And
Welcome, guys. This will be the
now
three-ply outer. Okay.
there's a risky thing to do here, because you can't put this through that glue spreader long way. I mean, excuse me.
The short way. You have to turn it sideways.
You have to turn it sideways so
Otherwise
it is a long way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I hope this works.
Yeah.
Wish us
Fingers
luck.
crossed. So it's a two-man job.
Hold it. Yeah, definitely.
Is it explain? You have to put it in the long way, otherwise it'll crack the wood.
It'll just
because
roll
of
around.
Because it's
on a roller.
Right. So it's gonna just wrap itself up into the glue roller.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he's making the plywood now. So there's 3 pieces of plywood, Thomas.
So if you want, we can do a purple.
Can we do a purple
We
core?
can do a purple core.
Maybe
Yeah,
on this one
yeah.
here.
That's what I want to see.
Now this will
Okay.
be different because this is now going to be a long grain that we get to run through the glue roller.
Okay. Is that a 16?
This is going to be a 14.
A 14. Okay. All right.
The same thing, but it goes through much easier. That's
Of course.
how we do most of our plywood.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see, it's short, long, short.
Yeah. How thick is each one of those?
136.
1/36. Okay.
See the pressure?
Oh wow.
You don't want your fingers in
No,
there.
no, I don't. How long do you keep it at that pressure?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kicks off with that, with the heat and the pressure with the glue,
Yeah.
plywood.
Right.
3 minutes later.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the outermost of the 14. It's
the
all vertical.
Yeah,
And you
okay.
can kind of tell.
Yeah.
It's kind
it's
of
floppy. It's no tension. Yeah.
right.
So cool.
That's music to me.
Yeah.
They cut that to very precise calculations for length because everything has to butt seam. They all have to be precise, so when they come together as a cylinder or a drum shell,
Right.
they are completely tight.
Yeah.
So
Look at that.
let's go down
Beautiful.
here.
So this is the important step.
Let me
Yes,
give it a quick mix.
that's just water,
Oh, okay.
just to make it relax a little more.
I see. So you got 2 plies. That's now 6, really?
That's 6 there.
That's 6.
So there's 3, and 3 actually.
Yeah.
The outer,
Okay.
on one side.
Oh, yes.
Here
No glue on the outer, of course.
will be the purple heart.
Run it through.
Around the vertical.
Vertical on the outside. Okay.
Bring that around a bit.
Okay, look at that. Beautiful.
There we go.
Beautiful. Okay.
Now we just wait.
That's a fancy waffle maker right there. How many minutes?
This is gonna stay for 9.5 minutes.
9.5. And that's the hot press.
This is the hot press.
Okay.
2,600 pounds of pressure. So right now we're letting everything cook like at 9.5 minutes.
How much pressure?
2,600 pounds.
Oh, wow.
This
Okay.
is where it is, so it's just getting pressure everywhere.
Is it the same pressure on all?
Every single one.
All drums?
Yeah. And
Wow.
when it comes out of this, it comes out hot. It goes into this press. Gives it the same pressure, but this one sets the heat out of itself.
Okay.
When it comes out of here,
And that one cures the glue faster, right? The cold press.
hard
Yes.
as it.
Okay.
feel that?
That's just maple?
Yeah,
It's
maple,
cold.
but it's
Yeah.
not going to go anywhere. It's already cold, and it's ready to get cut down.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's been cold molded.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for this shell,
Yeah.
this is,
Mahogany.
see the PurpleCore?
Oh, yeah.
But it's the mahogany, you know, in and out. And it's got the little reinforcing hoop in it.
How thick are these?
3 ply.
Okay, 3 plies.
And listen, your ears are tuned to what a 12-inch tom should sound like.
Yes, they are.
Listen to this.
Jeez. That's amazing.
It sounds like a floor tom.
It does. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And look at the strength.
Yeah, let me try that. Wow. This is incredible, yeah.
So you're starting
beautiful.
to get the pictures coming together.
Absolutely. Let me try this. Wow. It sounds like a really well-tuned floor tom.
And it's a 12-inch tom.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So this is ready to come out.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's see it. Look at that cookie. Oh, I see. Is it very hot?
It's hot.
Oh,
But
okay.
you see, it's flexible.
It's-
Look how flexible
yeah.
this thing is. Go from the hot into the cold. Goes outside, on the inside. And now we let it sit for
Yeah.
another 9 minutes. Then that'll come out just like those.
Yeah.
Let's hope it comes out.
Yes,
good.
figure out. Let's take that baby out of the oven.
Like that.
Oh, dang, yeah.
It's already making sound.
Oh, yes. It's already making a sound. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
You can just see it's
Dang, that is incredible.
This with all this bad stuff still on it. After the sound cuts it down, you'll get a better sound. After it's cooked, it gets getting better and better.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's where we're going to cut parallel. It's
Yeah.
important that you cut at the same time.
Okay.
So you don't wind up with this.
Right. Wow, yeah. It's incredible how it just vibrates and goes, that's incredible. Beautiful.
So Abel, you're putting in the reinforcing hoop. Watch this.
Okay.
He sizes it up. Just glue on one side.
Yeah.
You know, and you wouldn't think that that's going to provide all that strength.
Yes, it's so thin.
It's so thin.
I'm surprised. And there's only one, again, out of the 3 plies on the ring, there's only one
One horizontal.
long grain horizontal. Amazing.
Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing, yeah.
So he's got precise measurements. Thank you, Abel. And you're going to put that back in the heater,
Okay.
and it will
Cure
it'll
and,
put
yeah,
pressure
exactly.
to it.
Wow. It's great.
Right?
Beautiful.
What do you think? I mean, seeing how, there are things where there are shows on television that say how it's done,
Right.
and I appreciate them, and they're fascinating to watch. You've seen them, I'm sure.
Yes. And I love those shows.
I do too.
I love them.
They're fascinating, but that's how it's done.
Well, it's like a show like that for me,
Yeah.
This only in real life. It's amazing. And I've been here so many times, and I know the process and the
This
machines.
is your second home.
This is my second home, exactly. But seeing these particular shells being made, is of course a different experience.
Because you've seen all the other ones done, and Sean's crew. I mean, they're really good at what they do.
They're artists and scientists.
And yes, and what I like is they love a challenge,
Yeah.
and I think this has been
Very challenging.
very challenging. But in the end of the day, it's not so ridiculous
Right.
at all to make. So anyway, I'm glad that you were able to be with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very happy I was able to see it and actually understand the process even better now.
Yeah.
And seeing all the different, grain orientation come together like that, and having played the drums before and experienced the sound, and then seeing the actual process in making, just, it ties it all together. For me personally, PurpleCore kits, they're a different beast in my mind, compared to all other shells, and even all other like hybrid shells. And this is a very unique line of drums, and it's very evident that they just have more bottom end. And if you're looking for a drum that produces that kind of low end, even on smaller drums, no matter what the tension, and yes, you can have that high pitch, but you'll still get that profound low end.
You know what I'm also proud of in this, because when we developed the 50 thread pitch, it's called True Pitch 50.
Mm-hmm.
You can tune down low and it'll stay.
Yes.
As opposed to when you get those real bottom things, they vibrate a
get
shell
loose,
a lot,
exactly.
and they can loosen up a screw. So that's another reason that I'm so enamored by this whole project.
Absolutely.
And thank you once again, Sean.
Very welcome.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
And really, for your talent and your crew and everyone at DW, on behalf of the Lombardi family and myself and all the artisans, men and women at DW, thank you so much for sharing this time with us today. And we'll be talking about the next project soon.